and welcome to Unity of San Leandro's Sunday morning message and meditation. We're glad you've chosen to worship the God of your understanding with us this morning. We'll begin with the Daily Word, and the Daily Word comes from a little magazine that's published by Unity. The statement today is, I find comfort in expressions of love. And the message reads, speaking the words, I love you, provides comfort for an aching heart and peace in times of uncertainty. Today, I open my heart to these loving expressions as a soothing balm for distress or grief. When I am concerned about another, love centers me in the truth that all is in divine order, no matter how circumstances appear. I enfold the people I care about in a sphere of love, encircling them in peace and protection. When I am troubled, I find comfort in others' loving words. I surround myself with those who offer solace in my time of need. I find encouragement in their kindness and compassion. As we share ourselves in kind and loving ways, we hearten spirits and bolster faith, giving comfort to ourselves and others. And the scripture is from 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 17. Comfort your hearts and strengthen them in every good work and word. Comfort your hearts and strengthen them in every good work and word. So the word for today, March 19, 2023, the daily word was comfort.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, we have Lori McDaniel with us this morning, and I am so grateful. She is my eldest daughter, and I am loving it that she's here today. She knows more about Unity than I do. She read all my books when she was a kid growing up, and I didn't know it at the time, but she is just a marvelous truth teacher and lives the principles, and I'm glad to have her here today. So, Lori McDaniel.
Thanks, Mom. And I don't think I know more than Unity than you. Just for the record.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your background.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Well, as you know, I grew up in Southern California. And you know, it was wonderful to grow up in a household with so much spiritual freedom. You know, there was encouragement and you taught us a lot, and yet it was really quite special, I've realized as an adult, to have to not have anything forced on us in terms of spirituality or religion. And I have even talked to you about that recently, and how unique that is. And so I've really taken that strong grounding in spirituality that was there, but also that spiritual freedom and exploring different things, valuing different things into adulthood. And I've participated in Unity, I participate in lots of other things too, and live a very rich spiritual life as an adult. I have one daughter, as you know, just I think probably a lot of the people know too, who are part of the church, Ayana, who's now 22. And let's see, I do lots of different things, including diversity consulting and coaching.
Yeah, thank you. And she's well educated because we.
Yeah, thanks to mom and dad, I'm well educated. Yes.
Right. Well, I'm older than Lori, and I have a different view of women's rights, though we're very similar in some ways. And she has been interested in feminine power and feminine wisdom. And can you tell us anything about that? I mean, I have not gotten deep into it the way you have. And so can you share something about it?
Yeah, of course. That's so interesting. It's such an interesting subject, and such an interesting question coming from you, my mother, right? Who, you're right, you haven't studied, kind of gone deep down the rabbit hole of certain aspects of it. And yet you and grandma and, my great grandmother, and probably even beyond those women, are just so, we're always so independent, empowered, intelligent, and passed down so much of these things through the lineage. So it's such an interesting and rich question to be asked by my mother. Yes,
I think that's because we sort of lived it in a different during a different era. Each one of us had a different era to live through it.
Yes.
And so, I mean, like, we didn't have birth control pills until we were born.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So but go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Such an interesting, I think the historical context of what our interests were and what we dove into and how we lived is so important to take into account. But yeah, this area of I've sort of done a deep dive over the years into different modalities, spiritual, transformational, that focus on women. And I know we're in the middle of Women's History Month, right? And so I love that you're bringing up this question. And really why I've done that is because I see how when women thrive at the heart of a family, the family is happy, they thrive, right? And if the mom isn't happy, ain't nobody happy. Right? Like, that's kind of how that goes, I think, in many families and many cultures around the world. And when I was younger, probably in my 20s, I kind of had this epiphany, and a lot of people have had this epiphany, right? That if women thrive, families thrive, communities thrive, nations thrive, we could actually have a thriving world. And so really, I feel like it's like this sweet spot that we can focus on. We can have, if we have women and girls thriving in the world will just naturally flourish. I just really believe that. And so that's what I think, why my soul is called to really empower women as part of my work.
Yeah. I was thinking as you were sharing that is so true. I mean, it's generally the mother who passes on the values in the family. They're usually, at least in America, because the closest ones generally to the children. And yeah, not that fathers are not close to their children, however, we're usually ones who breastfeed, feed, talk to, hug, and
Mm.
pull and and give them the messages of how we want them to survive in the world and be safe,
Mhm.
all kinds of values. So yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. We're the power.
Yes.
um,
Yes.
so I remember once when I had some chest pains and I had to go to the hospital. And Lori it was on a Saturday, I think, or they told me I had to stay there for 3 days. And and Lori was our guest speaker that day. And I remember you had a standing ovation. I remember that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You
Yeah.
remember that? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and you shared some of the things that you learned from me, from Unity.
Uh-huh.
I just remember
Uh-huh.
that was being so brilliant of you to think about that, to be able to do that. Now that was 10 or 15 years ago, I think. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was at least 10 years ago. And I was thinking about how that same idea of passing on the information, how you picked it up and how you knew it
Oh, it froze again.
and how wonderfully you did. I was not. I
Thank you.
want to just mention that it was not a heart issue. It turned out that I've been swinging one of the grandchildren around, and I think it was a muscle that was strained or something because I have been swinging my grandkids. But anyway,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
thank you for having taken that son.
Yeah.
Some people will
Well,
watching.
yes, of course. Well, I had forgotten about that till you brought it up. And I really wanted to give, as you say, a good unity talk. Like, unity principles are so important to you. And so I wanted to make sure that the talk had real solid unity principles. It wasn't like, off in the ethers talking about other things necessarily. And
Mhm.
and I knew what that meant to you. And so that's how I fashioned the talk. I fashioned it around the things that I knew were important to you,
Mhm.
which I'm sure is why it was so good. Right? It
Right.
was, yeah, it was right in the center of truth principles, and how to use them, how to apply them, why they're important, before and after using truth principles, all the things
Mm,
that you teach.
yeah. Years ago, I was graduating from um, becoming a licensed Unity teacher, and I told this story recently, Lori, um, that I was wanting you to be there for the graduation and for Jerry and George. Mama was already there with me. We were at Unity Village, and this was in the '90s, the early '90s, and the and you called and you had an ear infection. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. Hmm.
You were not supposed to fly.
Right.
You couldn't come, and I think you told me on Monday, and the graduation was on Thursday, and Mama was with me, and I said we want Lori here, and Mama said, okay, let's sit and know the truth. So we did. We sat just for maybe 20 minutes, and it was not um, where we were begging or beseeching or anything. We just got quiet. And and sure enough, your ear cleared up and you were able to fly and be there for the graduation. But what I want
Yeah.
to hear about that is I asked Mama, what did she do when she sat in the silence? I knew what I did. I didn't know what she did. So she said she focused on love. She saw you surrounded in love, reflecting love, being in the midst of it, and it was just love, 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 love. And I thought, I love my mama and I love my daughter. And I was so glad you were there. But I remember it so well, with you sang, Lori sang.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
she's a
Uh-huh.
beautiful voice. And a soprano, is that what you call it?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't know if it was contralto, soprano, or what. What is soprano? And and I remember you sang in my chapel service.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Do
Right.
you remember what you sang?
No, I don't. I
I don't
probably
remember
should, but
either.
I don't. It
I
was a
don't
long
either.
time ago now.
That was a
I have
long
no
time ago.
idea. Yeah, I
But I
enjoyed it though, and I participated too. I was doing my own, I don't know remember what I did or said, but I was like knowing the truth that it could happen. And that
mm.
was one thing that I remembered while you were talking just now, is that I
Oh,
remember, you
during
know,
the ear infection part.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, like being intentional as well. Like I
Mm.
wasn't resisting. I wasn't like, oh, this could never happen. Oh, this is silly. No, I'm your kid. This is pretty standard operating procedure in our family, right? We
Hey,
we as a group intend, pray, whatever you want to call it, um, such that certain outcomes occur.
yeah.
And I'll say too, what I want to add for those people listening is that this was not the first or the last time we did this, right? Like truth principles, we live in a quantum metaphysical world. It's not just the 3D reality, and the power of the mind and the heart is so powerful to heal, to do all kinds of beautiful things. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Thank
remember.
you. Thank you for that. Because it's true. When we if there's something going on in the family,
Hmm.
something that we feel like maybe, I mean, it could be a diagnosis,
Hmm.
it could be whatever it is. We talk to each other, we
Hmm.
out and say, hold a positive thought, you know,
Yes.
uh, and to
Yes.
gaze in consciousness to know the truth. I like to say we're open and receptive to the good happening. So yeah,
Hmm.
I agree.
Yeah. And remember when, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say, remember when grandma's leg was in jeopardy. She was having a really serious time with her leg, the bottom part of her leg. And so you, me, Jerry, I'm sure other people were involved, but for on and off for probably weeks and at different phases, we were very intent on the wholeness and health of her leg, because it was a very serious diagnosis, and she's fine.
That's right.
Right now, she
That's
sailed through
right.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were threatening to amputate her leg.
Hmm.
And that was a scary thing, you know.
Right.
Of course, mom
Right.
was working on it too.
Yes.
We're all
Yeah, we
together.
all were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what we call it, working on it. Doing
Uh-huh.
is doing
Hmm.
that, and having that energy and effort to hold the spiritual space of possibilities of healing, for it to for the good to show up. And so I think that's important in families. I think it's important for women. I think it's people, period,
Hmm.
to join together.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you ever go to Silent Unity? Did you, when you were there?
Hmm.
You,
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I loved it.
yeah, I was thinking that it's that collective prayer, that united prayer. Whether
Hmm.
us doing it, or, and of course we called Silent Unity, I'm sure.
Hmm. Oh yes.
With Mama, and
Oh yes.
I call Silent Unity. So,
Yes.
and we joined together knowing the truth.
Yeah, that's right. That knowing and that intentionality and just really trusting, and really, it really works. And for and I'm saying this to our audience, that you may think that you're just one person or it's just three people, but it doesn't work like that in a quantum universe. It's not just one person or three people. It is beyond measure how powerful each one of us is. And so we really do make a difference with what we're intending, what we're feeling, what we're thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, There's more to us than meets the eye.
Yes, well said.
More to us. You know, I was reading something, and there was a scientist, and I can't remember his name, but he was saying prayer is the most powerful energy there is.
Wow.
Isn't that it?
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, the most powerful energy there is. Prayer works. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not the. I last Sunday I was talking about prayer, and I was saying that it's there is the begging and beseeching type prayer. There's a simple thanksgiving. I give thanks that it's, that type of prayer. There's the asking. But I was thinking that it's important to know that when we ask, it's not asking really in the sense of begging and wanting it to happen a certain way, but it's the heart's desire that seems to activate it. Whether no matter what words we use, and
It,
we use affirmative prayer. And so the affirmative prayer is, I am healthy, I am whole, I am prosperous, I that kind of prayer, that I'm restored to health. So anything you want to share with us that you'd like us to know about you, Lori?
well, I think, I was thinking about our conversation and what we were going to talk about. And I just think it's so cool. And I've reflected on this and shared it with you, even outside the context of this conversation recently, how cool it is to be part of like a matrilineal line, several
Mm.
generations of just amazing women. Your mother, her mother, down to us. And it's just really, really quite an honor to be in that lineage and to have very free thinking, deeply spiritual women from times where women weren't really like that, not on mass yet.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very independent and into things like Christian Science, and really having truth principles at the heart of how they operated in the world and in their lives, whatever it was, whether it was Christian Science or all of the women that we come from, in that lineage were very independent, free thinking, very spiritual in non-traditional ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have always really treasured that. And it made a big impression on me as I was growing up and was very molded by it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in honor of you and grandma and Women's History Month, I just want to really acknowledge that lineage and all of the courage it takes to be that in the world, even today, where women in the Western world have more rights, and yet it's still not a completely safe place for women to be fully themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
In their fullest expression of who they are in all ways. It's not very friendly always to
Yeah.
women who show up that way. And I would dare say rarely actually is friendly to women in their fullness. And I just really appreciate what it took over the different years to continue in our lineage to show up more and more freely, more and
Mm-hmm.
more powerfully, and to be amazing and powerful from the get-go, kind of being disruptive the whole way. Right? So yeah,
I
yeah,
was
I
thinking,
really value it.
I was thinking about that as you were sharing, and I thought about my mother's mother, and she wanted to buy a house, and apparently her husband, my grandfather, wasn't interested in buying a house, or I don't know if he thought it was impossible. I don't know what the deal was. They had moved from North Carolina to New York City, and Mama says that Grandma Lou decided she wanted a house. She was going to buy a house. So she did. And it was Pop and Grandma Lou lived there. I played there when I was a kid, but she was independent to the point that she decided that she was going to have a house. She also learned to drive in her 50s, you know. She
Wow.
decided
Yeah.
because she lived in New York, she didn't have to, she could take a bus, she could take a subway, you know.
Wow.
Decided she wanted to drive. And,
Hmm.
you know, so yeah, you're right. There are people in the family who were courageous and,
Yeah.
and this would make a decision and follow through,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Yes. And that really is, it's remarkable. It's just remarkable, especially for women,
Hmm.
um, who traditionally, until, you know, late 60s, early 70s, didn't really have a whole lot of rights in America. I mean, there
Hmm.
were there were very few if we're honest with ourselves and actually look at the history books and know the history. There were not very, like, you couldn't get a credit card without your husband until the 70s. I mean, it was that kind of thing, right?
Oh
So
yeah, I lived through it.
as you know.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we couldn't get utilities without our husbands if you were married, and if you weren't,
Right.
it had to be some other man like your father or grand,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So you know, and a lot of young women aren't really aware of that, so they don't,
No, they don't know.
and
And
those rights are
if you
being
don't,
trying to be taken away from us right this very moment in
right.
like West Virginia and Virginia, and
Right.
lots of states, South Dakota.
Right.
Yeah, so
It's really, um it really just is. Here's what I think, the bigger picture. And I was talking to mom about this offline, and I said, I really can't say what I think about all this publicly because my spirituality goes out the window.
yeah, that's
What I
right.
want to say in a zoomed out kind of spiritual perspective is that, you know, we're evolving, right? And as a human collective, we're evolving and improving, and that means that all these inequalities, whether it's gender, it's ethnicity, it's whatever it is, if people are trans or, you know, non-binary, it doesn't really matter. It's all, we're evolving out of all of our um, smallness, you know, into much more grace and unconditional love for one another. It's just happening. It's our evolutionary um, moment for that, for sure. My belief is that we're in an accelerated period of that, and so the pushback is accelerated as well. They're trying to hang
Mm-hmm.
on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
whatever that looks like, they're trying to hang on. But I truly believe we're already way past that. This is like, we're way past that evolutionarily, I think. I know not everyone agrees with me because, you know, they see the mess out there. The way I see the stuff that's happening is, you know, it's the long game. It's not going to be tomorrow, but we're going to have a more just, equal, loving society at that individual level, as well as in our systems, you know, and in our norms and our cultures. So I just want to, that's something I feel is really important to stand in and to believe.
Great. That is wonderful because that's what we will do. And that's what we are doing. We are having a high watch and for women's rights, for everybody's civil
Mm-hmm.
rights, for human rights.
Mm-hmm.
We are wanting that world that works for everyone. So
Mm. Yes.
thank you,
Yeah.
Lori, for being here with us this morning. I am grateful that you're with us.
Thank you. It's such it really is an honor to do this with you, Mom. I know we have such a fun, casual relationship, but in front of the world, you know, I just want to say it is really an honor to be your kid and to be asked to participate with you in things like this. It's really is joyful, and I'm moved by it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, babe.
pray every day. Think in a positive way. Love unconditionally. Trust with all the faith in me. I will pray every day. Think in a positive way. Love unconditionally. Trust with all the faith in me.
Sit still, don't be afraid. Free your mind, it's time to pray. Let your problems melt away. Your fear and doubt are exiting today. I will pray every day.
Think in a positive way. Love unconditionally. Trust with all the faith in me. I will pray every day. Think in a positive way. Love unconditionally. Trust with all the faith in me.
Take your blame, put it away. Find your heart and let it play. Respect the good, be kind to yourself. Let God lead the way, He's always here to help. To help. I will pray.
Think in a positive way. Love unconditionally. Trust with all the faith in me. I will pray every day. Think in a positive way. Love unconditionally. Trust with all the faith in me.
Open your mind, open your heart, let love reside. Here's where you start.
I will pray every day. Think in a positive way.
I will love
unconditionally. Trust with all the faith in me. I will pray every day. Think in a positive way. Love unconditionally. Trust God with all the faith in me. I will pray every day.
every day.
In a positive way.
I will pray.
Now is the time that we accept love offerings, and we are very grateful for your gifts that go to Unity Church of San Leandro. So I invite you to turn within for a moment, just breathe and bless all the gifts that you are giving, your wallets, your pocketbooks, your all. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. And so we give thanks that there is no lack or limitation, that divine love goes before us and smooths our way. And so we are grateful for your gifts. We see you abundantly prospering in every good way. And so it is. Our announcements are that we have on Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we have a prosperity group, and we invite you to join us. It's pretty dynamic and successful. And then on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, we have mastermind prayer. On Sundays, right after this service, this message and meditation, we actually have a coffee hour, a virtual coffee hour, so that we can connect. Now, for all of those, all you have to do is go to unitysanleandro.org and find the coffee cup. Sometimes the pictures change, but you'll find the coffee cup that has a heart-shaped cream in it. Click on that. That'll take you right into the Let's Connect virtual coffee hour. It'll take you into the Tuesday morning prosperity group. It will take you into the Wednesday evening mastermind prayer group at those particular times. So today at 12 noon, join us for our virtual coffee hour. You can stay for a minute, you can stay for the whole hour. And so as we go forth this week, let's remember that the light of God surrounds us and the love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth.